Very good morning, class 11. So, in yesterday's class, we started with a chapter from this book, Hornbill, Silk Road, written by Middleton. We had the introduction part for it. So, now we are going to have the reading for it, line by line explanation, as we always do for the chapters, either for prose or for poem. So, let's start with the reading and let's try to understand first few paras here first. That we need to understand that the author, he went for the Korah, going to the pilgrimage as wanted to have that meditation while wanted to reach there first. And now we are studying from here that from he started his journey from Ravu to Mount Kailash now. And Lhamo would be there who had gifted him the long sheepskin coat on the way. Okay. So there would be this one with him, a tourist, and he would guide him, he would take him to that place, to that destination. So try to understand it here. A flawless half moon floated in a perfect blue sky on the morning we said our goodbyes. So I was starting the journey from Ravu there. Extended banks of cloud like long French loaves glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash the distant mountain tops with a rose-tinted blush. So description as they started their journey now, early morning. So the sky, it was looking it was perfectly blue sky. They were saying the goodbye there, and it seemed while looking at the sky that there was a cloud was looking like the French loaves. French loaves basically in the bread piece there, glowing like a pink color as they are about to eat. Basically, those French loaves are there, and they are splashing it towards the mountain tops with a rose-tinted blush. Now that we were leaving Ravo, Lahamo said she wanted to give me a farewell present. One evening, I had told her through Daniel. So through Daniel, narrator had given a message to Lahamo that I was heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Korah. And she had said that I ought to get some warmer clothes because as he mentioned that he was going to Mount Kailash, to that hill, so she said that he required warmer clothes for there. After ducking back into her tent. Now, ducking back means when you're going inside and then coming out. After ducking back into her tent, she emerged carrying out one of the long-sleeved sheepskin coat that all the men wore. So when she came out, when she went inside and then she came back, she came with that long sheepskin coat and she gifted that to the narrator, Nick Middleton, so that he could have that warmer cloth. Tistin sized me up as we clambered into his car. Oh yes, he declared, Rokaba, sir. So this Tistin, who was the tourist who was there with him in the car, he moved into the car in a very different manner. And while looking at the narrator, he said, okay, Drokaba. So basically he was looking like the shepherd at that time. Right? Or the one who basically had that meditation, a different kind of a cloth. We took a shortcut to get off the Changtang. So they had taken a shortcut from Changtang. They still knew a route that would take us southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. So he knew about the shortcut. It involved crossing several fairly high mountain passes, he said. But no problem, sir, he assured us, if there is no snow. What was the likelihood of that, I asked, not knowing, sir, until we get there. So Tristan said that we can reach there timely, but but if there will be no snow. As he mentioned, author asked, what do you mean by this? What is the likelihood if there will be snow or not? So he said, I can't say. First, we need to reach to that place. From the gently rolling hills of Ravu, the shortcut took us across vast open plains with nothing in them except a few gazelles that would look up from nibbing the arid pastures and fawn before bounding away into the void. Now, when they were passing from the rolling hills of Ravu, they have taken a shortcut as it mentioned. So they have noticed the few gazelles. Now, gazelles are African or Asian mammals actually. Those who were eating, they were nibbling, it means they were eating on that arid pasture basically. They were taking the small bite there. Arid pasture means when there is little or no rain. You know about it, I guess. And then it says about, and they were jumping there also, those mammals. Further on, where the plains became more stony than grassy, a great herd of wild ass came into view. So as on they moved, they even noticed wild ass, right? So even they have noticed those animals. Tristan told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. So it seemed they were approaching towards them. Kyang, he said, pointing towards a far off pall of dust. So he noticed that as they were going forward, there was a pile of dust there in that area. When we drew near, I could see the herd galloping in mass, wheeling and turning in tight formation as if they were practicing maneuvers on some predetermined course. Plumes of dust billowed into the crisp, clean air. So he mentioned about it as they were moving towards, as there was a pile of dust, right? They have noticed mammal, they have noticed wild as there, but as they were moving forward, they noticed about that the herd was coming. Now herd was that there was a group of that wild asses were there, and they were moving. They were in a group, they were moving, and they were taking twists and turns, like they were moving in a very different manner. As it's written, they were practicing maneuvers. Now maneuvers means as they were doing the military exercises. Okay. Then it's written, plumes of dust billowed into the crisp clean air, and it seems that the whole air was filled with dust there. As it's already mentioned, piles of dust, and then those herd of wild asses were there. They were moving as some military exercises were going on, and suddenly it seemed that the air was filled with dust. As hills started to push up once more from the rocky wilderness, we passed solitary drokabas tending their flocks. Now, when we move forward, we noticed there were flocks, like there was a group of sheep, and they were drokabas, like they were the shepherds. As remember in the first para at the end, he mentioned about it, you were looking like a drokaba while wearing that long sheep skin coat. So sometimes men, sometimes women, these well-wrapped figures would pause and stare at our car. So when we were moving, some of the times men, some of the time women, they were stopping there. They were at the hall and they were just waving towards them, looking towards them, occasionally waving as we passed. When the track took us close to their animals, the ship would take evasive action, veering away from the speeding vehicle. Now it mentioned that as they were going to the close to that flock, basically, suddenly ship took a turn unpredictable for the author and for this tourist guide. And for just because of that reason, even that car need to take a sharp turn. As it written, the ship would take evasive, like slippery action had taken, veering away, like away from the speeding vehicle. So basically, they even need to change their direction. So till here, we are just reading it. In the next class, we will continue. So here, till here, what you need to understand that how our author has described that how the sky was looking like, compared with the French lobes, like shining with that red tinge, and then the llama has gifted something to him. Then they moved they had taken a shortcut, how they noticed the gazelles, the wild asses in between, and then the drokabas, a group of who were there with the shepherd. So what happened? Till here, clear it out. If any doubt, please ask, and in the next class we will do it, the next portion, and send the worksheet timely.